Something big is happening. You can feel it. I can feel it. Everyone in the UK feels it. From the cost of living to politics to AI to culture to the way we work, live and think, the world is changing faster than most people can keep up with. And in times like this, people fall into one of two groups. Those who freeze and panic, and those who adapt and build wealth through the transition. In this video, I'm going to explain what's actually changing, why it feels so chaotic, what it means specifically for investors, and how you can stay calm, stay rational, and build long-term wealth despite chaos in the UK and around the world. Why everything feels like it's falling apart. We're watching the old elite collapse in media, politics, academia, institutions, all at the same time. It feels to me like revolution is coming. Think about it. The BBC is losing trust. Politics feels impossible. No real difference between parties, no vision, no long-term planning, nothing. Universities are struggling with relevance. Late night TV, legacy media, old cultural gatekeepers, all fading. Meanwhile, independent creators, podcasters, entrepreneurs are replacing them. This is exactly what a revolution looks like. Not pitchforks and riots, but a replacement of elites. New voices in, old structures out. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Humans hate uncertainty, but uncertainty creates something else. Opportunity. Why everyone feels anxious, especially young people. Young people are struggling mentally, not because they're weak, but because they're alone too much, and screens have replaced real community. I've seen this firsthand with my kids and other family members, friends' kids as well, etc. And I've also heard how bad it is. Listen to people like Jimmy Carr, Stephen Bartlett, Chris Williamson, and many more big names here on YouTube. This matters for money because when you're isolated, you panic more. You feel the world closing in around you and you struggle to make long-term decisions. This is how people get stuck, and the system hasn't helped young adults either. Housing is unaffordable. Degrees have lost value. Taxes are too high, in my humble opinion. Opportunities feel limited. The news is doom and gloom 24/7, but here's the truth. Every generation in history has lived through a major turning point, and the ones who stay rational, calm, come out wealthy on the other side. I'm a big believer in financial education and long-term investing. If you're on the same page, hit subscribe so we can build wealth together. The UK is at a critical crossroads. Right now, the UK is going through a political reset, energy crisis, migration pressures and AI disruption. Obviously, it's going through much more, but these are the big ones for me personally. Let's dig deeper. Political reset. The traditional left-right divide doesn't work anymore. Working class voters have shifted. The middle class is collapsing. A new movements are rising. I don't know about you, but I have a feeling that Labour won't win the next election. And neither will the Conservatives. Let me know what you think below in the comments. Energy crisis. We're paying multiples more for energy because we outsourced production and shut down domestic capacity. Energy equals prosperity. If you can't produce cheap power, you can't grow wealth. The United States recently slated the UK for not taking advantage of the oil and gas we have here in the North Sea, and personally, I have to agree. Migration pressures. Not just UK, globally. Billions of people now see how the West lives through their mobile phones. Pressure on borders is structural, not temporary. I've got to agree with Jimmy Carr on this one. It's not about letting everyone in, it's about helping people around the world to build their own version of the UK, or their own version of countries like the United States. It's not fair that approximately 10% of the world live in comfort with huge opportunities and the rest live in poverty. But the answer isn't to open the borders. Again, this is just my opinion. AI disruption. People are scared about losing their jobs. Just like machines made physical labour obsolete 100 years ago, when literally 98% of the world were farmers. AI will take away many of the jobs we currently take for granted. This is not a small shift. This is civilization level change. But again, with change comes opportunity. This video isn't all about investing like most of the videos on this channel, but still I need to mention that nothing I say should be taken as financial advice, and the full disclaimer can be found below in the description. So, what does all this mean for your money? Here's the good news. Major revolutions have historically been the greatest wealth building periods ever. Why? Because while everyone else panics, freezes, or fights politically, investors who keep their heads see massive openings in new technologies, new infrastructure, new industries, new currency systems, etc., etc. You could look at change as negative, but I like to try to be positive as much as possible. So let's imagine that destruction leads to rebirth, or the Hindu concept that destruction precedes creation. So here's a positive spin on all of this change. The world isn't ending, it's restarting. And you want to be an investor in the new world, not a victim of the old one. On that note, if you want help and support with investing, you can join my private investing community on Skool, and the link can be found below in the description. How to invest calmly through the chaos. Let's break this down into a simple, actionable plan. 1. Master the basics. Use the tools the system gives you. ISAs for tax-free growth. This is specific for the UK, but there should be similar tax-free accounts where you live and where you invest. SIPs and pensions, huge tax benefits. Low-cost global index funds. Your foundation and my favourite way to invest after 25 years as an investor. Cash buffers for emergencies, not investing. Pound cost averaging removes emotion. Boring beats brilliant. Simple beats complicated. Consistency beats timing. 2. Invest for the next world, not the last one. Have a good look into where society is heading. Energy infrastructure, nuclear, renewables, grid, etc. AI and automation. That's the main reason I invest in a Tesla stock. Cybersecurity, robotics, data centers, biotech, digital media replacing legacy institutions. Having a portion of your portfolio exposed to the future is smart, again in my opinion, just not in a YOLO way. ETFs, diversified funds or structured long-term picks is probably the way to go. 3. Don't try to predict the future. Prepare for it. We don't know who wins the next election. No one knows. What happens with immigration, what AI will automate, whether the UK booms or stagnates, what global conflict looks like, whether currencies change. What we do know, long-term markets reward disciplined investors who don't panic. 4. Avoid the 2 biggest wealth killers, panic selling and doing nothing. I could go on, but I will say this. If you focus on education and if you invest in assets long term, I think you'll be okay and your future self will thank you big time. The biggest drug in the world at the minute is attention, and attention today is driven by fear. That's why the news looks the way it does. If you let fear guide your money, you'll make bad decisions. A message of reassurance. We've been here before. Here's something very few people know. If you'd invested £100 in the FTSE All World Index in every crisis, .com, 9/11, the 2008 financial crisis, Brexit, COVID, high inflation, high interest rate spikes, wars and conflicts basically all over the world, today you'd be dramatically wealthier than someone who waited for certainty. Every major turning point feels like the end. But the long-term trend of innovation, human creativity and economic growth continues. Societies don't die, they reinvent themselves. And often what comes after is stronger, more stable and more prosperous. We are not heading for collapse, we're heading for transition. And transitions are survivable, even profitable for those who stay calm. What do you think? Are you feeling positive about the future or negative? Let me know below in the comments. Summary. Here's the truth. You cannot control the political chaos, institutional collapse, global conflict, AI disruption, the economy, the news cycles, what the elites do or don't do, but you can control your actions, your education, your investing habits, your discipline, your plan, your mindset. In times of change, the people who stay calm and neutral win. So yes, the world is changing, it's shifting. Yes, there will be pain. Yes, old systems are dying. But the next generation of wealth is built now. Not by predicting the future, but by preparing for it. Invest regularly, invest for the long term, invest with optimism, not fear. This video is me trying to keep you up to date with what's going on in the world and to nudge you towards long-term investing. But what if, after all that, you're not sure how to invest? Don't worry. If you see below, you'll find a video that will help you step by step.